It's big. It's powerful. And it's been flying longer than your grandparents have been alive. The B-52 bomber first took to the skies in 1955, and guess what? It's still flying today while other bombers are getting retired. But why? What makes this old war machine so unstoppable? And could it really keep flying until 2050 and beyond? Stick around, because today we're breaking down why the B-52 will outlive every other military aircraft. So, let's start with its incredible history. The B-52 bomber is one of the most legendary aircraft in history. It first entered service in 1955, and even after almost 70 years, it is still flying strong. While other bombers like the B-1 Lancer and B-2 Spirit are set to retire, the B-52 is not going anywhere. Instead, it's getting major upgrades that will keep it in service for decades. That's pretty impressive for a plane designed in the early years of the Cold War. Originally, the B-52 was built to fly high and carry nuclear weapons deep into enemy territory. At that time, it was one of the most advanced bombers in the world. But as air defenses improved, it had to change its role. Over time, new technologies were added, making sure the B-52 could keep up with modern warfare. Now, the US Air Force has no plans to retire it anytime soon. With the latest upgrades, including new engines, better radar, and modern avionics, the B-52 is expected to stay in service until at least 2050. One of the biggest changes is the replacement of the old TF-33 engines with brand new Rolls-Royce F-130 turbofan engines. These engines are way more fuel efficient, meaning the B-52J will fly longer distances without needing as much fuel. They are also more reliable, so maintenance will be easier, and the Air Force won't have to spend as much time and money keeping them in top shape. This is a huge deal because the old engines have been in use for decades and were becoming harder to maintain. But the upgrades don't stop there. The B-52J will also get advanced avionics, radar, and communication systems, making it a high-tech war machine. These improvements will help the bomber detect targets faster, communicate better with other aircraft, and fly more efficiently. Instead of being seen as an old, outdated aircraft, the B-52J will be a cutting-edge powerhouse that can handle modern missions. But these upgrades aren't just about keeping it flying, they also make the B-52 incredibly cost-effective. Take the B-2 Spirit, for example, it costs over $2 billion per unit. That's just for one aircraft. On the other hand, the US Air Force is upgrading the entire B-52 fleet for about $11 billion total. That means instead of spending billions to develop an entirely new bomber, the Air Force is saving money by improving an aircraft that already works. One of the biggest reasons why the B-52 is cheaper to maintain is its simple design. Unlike stealth bombers, which require expensive materials and frequent maintenance, the B-52 doesn't need constant repairs to stay operational. Stealth coatings on aircraft like the B-2 and the upcoming B-21 Raider need special care, which makes them super costly to maintain. Meanwhile, the B-52's traditional airframe and systems are cheaper and easier to service. Another big advantage of the B-52 over newer bombers is versatility. The B-21 Raider is designed for stealth missions, which means it's best suited for sneaking into heavily defended areas. But stealth technology isn't needed for every mission. That's where the B-52 comes in. It can carry a massive payload, launch nuclear and conventional weapons, and even provide close air support in modern conflicts. Because it's not built for stealth, it doesn't require expensive stealth-related upgrades, making it far more cost-effective for regular combat missions. And speaking of weapons, let's talk about the B-52's firepower. It can carry up to 70,000 pounds of bombs and missiles, making it one of the most powerful bombers in history. That's more firepower than most other aircraft can even dream of. Whether it's dropping traditional bombs or launching high-tech missiles, the B-52 can handle it all. This massive payload is one of the biggest reasons why the US Air Force refuses to retire it. It's just too good at delivering destruction when needed. One of the biggest upgrades to the B-52's firepower is the Internal Weapons Bay Upgrade, IWBU. In the past, a lot of the bomber's weapons were carried on external pylons, which affected aerodynamics. But with the IWBU, the B-52 can now carry even more weapons inside the aircraft, making it more efficient and deadly. This upgrade also allows it to launch modern smart weapons, giving it a serious advantage in precision strikes. But that's not all. The B-52 is also set to play a key role in hypersonic missile deployment. Hypersonic missiles are the next big thing in warfare. They travel 5 times the speed of sound, making them nearly impossible to intercept. The B-52 will be a launch platform for these missiles, giving the US a major advantage in future battles. The B-52 isn't just surviving, it has been dominating the battlefield for decades. Over the years, it has been used in major conflicts, dropping massive amounts of bombs and helping the US military achieve victories. From Vietnam to the War on Terror, the B-52 has played a crucial role in shaping modern warfare. One of the most famous times the B-52 was used was during the Vietnam War. The US needed a way to destroy enemy supply lines, bases, and troops, and the B-52 was perfect for the job. It was involved in Operation Linebacker 2, where hundreds of B-52s dropped thousands of bombs on North Vietnamese targets in just 11 days. This intense bombing campaign was a major reason why North Vietnam eventually agreed to peace talks. In the Gulf War, 1991, the B-52 was used again, this time against Iraq. It played a key role in weakening Iraqi defenses by bombing strategic locations day and night. One of its most famous missions was called Operation Senior Surprise, also known as Secret Squirrel. In this mission, B-52s launched cruise missiles from thousands of miles away, hitting key enemy targets without even entering enemy airspace. The B-52's ability to strike from long distances and carry huge payloads made it one of the most feared weapons of the war. Even in the War on Terror, 2001 to present, the B-52 continues to be useful. Instead of dropping large amounts of bombs like in Vietnam, it now uses precision-guided weapons to hit enemy targets with extreme accuracy. In Afghanistan and Iraq, B-52s provided close air support, meaning they helped ground troops by destroying enemy positions with powerful airstrikes. But how does the B-52 compare to other bombers? Let's find out. The B-1 Lancer, B-2 Spirit, and the upcoming B-21 Raider all have their strengths, but each comes with big problems that the B-52 doesn't have. The B-1 Lancer is a fast, supersonic bomber that was built for high-speed missions. It can fly at incredible speeds and carry a large number of bombs, but it has a huge problem: it's expensive to maintain. The B-1 requires a lot of repairs, and its complicated design makes it difficult to keep in service. The Air Force is already planning to retire it by 2036 because of these issues. The B-2 Spirit is the most advanced bomber when it comes to stealth technology. It was designed to sneak past enemy defenses without being detected. However, there's a major downside: it's crazy expensive. The B-2 costs over $150,000 per flight hour just to operate. On top of that, its stealth coating is fragile and requires constant maintenance, making it one of the most expensive planes ever built. Then there's the B-21 Raider, which is the future of stealth bombers. It's designed to replace the B-2, but it won't be able to carry as many weapons as the B-52. While the B-21 is built for stealth missions, the B-52 is better for long-range, heavy bombing missions where stealth isn't needed. What do you think? Will the B-52 continue flying for decades, or will a new bomber eventually replace it? Comment below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more military aviation breakdowns.